Backlog.
We should probably now move on to the L of the week. So, what is the L of the week, August? Because I don't know.
Honestly, yeah. So we ended up settling on Batgirl, but there were a few possible contenders for L of the week. First of all, after 9 months, Pete Davidson finally broke up with Kim K. People were making hella memes about it. I saw one really great one that it's like, I crawled into bed tonight and Pete Davidson in my bed. It was finally my turn. I think it's kind of a multi-level L for him because I think I read a story about how like Pete got Kim Kardashian's like kids tattooed on his body at one point, so now he also has to get that tattoo removed.
Wait,
it's just multiple levels of weirdness.
I just got an idea for like a cringe article that probably exists right now, and it's probably gonna be like Pete got yeeted or Pete got yeet. I don't know, something like that. But that's got to be real.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it is about Kim K, but I mean, maybe she just likes to date, not emotionally stable men. I don't know what it is. I mean, some people like crazy. I don't know. But no, I mean, yeah, I feel bad for them. I feel bad for Pete, but this is also kind of it is an amusing story because it doesn't seem to matter who Pete dates in Hollywood or how hot they are. All these relationships seem to end this way. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe dude needs to take some time off, work on himself. Who knows? But yeah, rip Pete. On to the next one. Maybe ladies out there, maybe they'll get your turn finally. And then the other kind of funny L of the week potentially was that there was a race that went on in Colombia, and I think it was like a heptathlon, which means it's like a multi-event race. And like I think it was towards the end, an athlete ended up just losing the entire race because as he was running down this track, things that were tucked became untucked. And he hung some schlong during the race. And of course, I don't think he got officially disqualified, but of course he wanted to stop and like retuck, put it all back in. And you can't do that while you're running a race. Sometimes like what would like the ancient Greeks would have been like baller enough to be like,
they just would have ran naked,
dude.
Finish the race. Hang that dong, bruh. Victory is more important than nudity or their pride. But
you gotta use it tough, dude.
As an
he wasn't about that life. He wasn't about that life. Yeah, scare your opponents, bro. But
maybe he shouldn't have been blessed with a massive dong.
I know, right? Maybe that's his real talent.
Bastard.
That's his that's his problem. Piece of shit.
But I'm sure he can like segue this into like doing like underwear ads for whatever country he's from. It'll be like that new underwear with the pouch. So it's like, he can probably if he's smart, he'll turn this into a marketing opportunity. That's all I'm saying. I think he was all like a 21-year-old kid,
Speaking of things being tucked away, I heard Batgirl got canceled.
It hella got canceled, and we kind of already mentioned it.
Canceled.
We didn't mention how bad it was. So
what a waste of money.
This movie had already been finished. It was in post-production, and this movie had come with a $50 million budget. So this is $50 million spent. That not only are they never going to release it to see the light of day, but they're going to take it as like a write down on their tax. Absolutely insane. And again, this is kind of more news in that vein of Zaslav going around canceling HBO
everything.
Projects. But yeah, this is nuts. This movie was done. I mean, like this is such a crazy new standard in the film industry where like not even a completed movie is worth releasing anymore. And I mean, granted, this has happened in the past. Like some movies have been in like development hell, but most movies eventually get released. Like eventually there'll be reshoots, recuts, re-edits. It'll get released. Very, very rarely does a finished movie never get released, even if it takes
just acts a finished movie just doesn't make any sense to me.
Especially like a multi-million-dollar blockbuster like this, and not like some small, $4 million movie. But yeah, this was a double-digit $1 million movie that is just never going to be a thing now. To me, that's crazy. That's the brave new world we live in.
Even if the movie is really as bad as people say, then it maybe was better to do the tax write-off than have it flop. But I don't know.
Yeah. Well, supposedly this was going to explain a lot of the DC like canon weirdness in that this was going to be another multiverse movie.
Oh God! Now they're just covering. They're just okay. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like Michael Keaton had a part. Michael Keaton's Batman had a part. There's a bunch of stuff they were going to do like multiversally with this movie, and apparently, since the movie's not happening, that's not going to happen anymore. So, I mean, that's why I was kind of saying earlier that, like, I think DC has an entirely new strategy of, like, okay, we're not going to start over. We're just going to keep what works. But we'll see. But yeah, it's a bummer. And it's not even just this movie. The Scooby-Doo movie was basically finished too by acclaimed comic writer Paul Dini. And that's not happening anymore either. So yeah, it's just kind of a bummer. I mean, even if the movie was bad, you would hope as a director, I'm sure the director was bored too. Like as soon as it got heard the movie was axed, like a bunch of leaks started coming out for the movie about like different scenes because no one's ever going to see the movie now.
Yeah, who cares anymore?
And the director was like super bummed and like understandable because if you spent your time and effort working on a movie, you'd want to see it released too. You'd want to save it. But that's apparently not what they're gonna do. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of a bummer, but I mean, this is the new world they live in. I mean, HBOMax takes the L, the director takes the L, maybe the DC universe takes the L, but I mean, you don't hear about $50 million movie L's just becoming unreleasable all that often. So I thought this was pretty big news.
Guy with dong.
I mean, DC
takes
is
a W?
used to taking the L's at this point.
It is, but at least they released the movies. You know what I mean? At least they have the balls enough to do that. This is a new level of just not caring. Well, yeah, I mean, essentially, this just adds to the list. I was gonna go through the list of canceled DC projects, and like, yeah, I mean, it's a bunch of shit from Adult Swim. I think one of the most popular things was like Joe Pera Talks with You. A lot of people like that on Adult Swim. Legends of Tomorrow. A lot of people like on the CW that got canceled. The Wonder Twins film. I mean, they hadn't shot it yet. I would have liked to see that because it's such a dumb idea. It could have been cool.
Who cares?
Now we're never gonna see that.
It's probably like a stupid joke film that has like I don't know, Zach Galifianakis or something like as one of the.
I would have been interested. It's so rarely that you see good superhero comedy movies. I think that could have had a chance, but now we'll never
like them
that.
When they're old.
Yeah. Raised by Wolves, which was a pretty popular sci-fi show on HBOMax by the guy that did Alien, that got canceled.
Ridley Scott.
Yeah, Close Enough got canceled. That was the show by the guy who did the Awesome Show. It was like the adult kind of Awesome Showish type show. But yeah,
regular show.
Yeah, regular show. That's what it is.
But it was pretty awesome.
The regular show was awesome. So yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, essentially, like so much crazy shit has been canceled by this one guy at the head of DC. You got to wonder, what is the future for DC, whether or not it's stable? You know what I mean? Like, what if this new Game of Thrones season doesn't immediately hit the numbers they want it to hit? They're going to cancel that too.
I don't know. They already spent a bunch of money on it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. Game of Thrones is one of those things that, it usually like ramps up every season, so it's got to be expensive. So I don't know. This is definitely like, what if they cancel Game of Thrones halfway through it? Like, what if it was good? Are people going to be mad? I would be if it was good. So I mean, very, 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 very harsh decisions this guy's making. So we'll see how it works for them.
Lastly, I think you forgot to even mention Scooby-Doo, which I don't know if it really deserves a mentioning.
She mentioned Scooby-Doo.
I mentioned it. Yeah,
Scooby-Doo is like 95% complete or some nonsense, and they're just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
And just threw in the bin.
Which blows my mind because everybody loves Scooby-Doo. Like even a mediocre Scooby-Doo movie, people are still gonna watch because it's Scooby-Doo.
I enjoy me some Scooby-Doo. It's got that timeless
Scooby-Doo.
Feel to it, man.
Yep.
The comfort of child.
The show's been around since what, the 60s for a reason? I'm just saying.